And hello fellow tankers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks. And today I bring you a couple games in M6, Tier 6 American Heavy Tank. Now the first game will be a bottom tier game, and second game I believe will be mid tier game or something of that nature. But it will give you kind of an idea how to play this tank when you're not a top tier. Obviously when you're a top tier, this tank is a beast. And with a 90mm gun that it has, it can shred things to pieces. But you have to be aware that it doesn't have a lot of armor. This tank is actually fairly soft. The turret armor is only 102mm. Sides of the turret are 83, and hull armor is about the same. 102 at the front, and 52 at the side, and 46 at the rear. So as you can see, it's not an armored monster, so you gotta be really cautious playing it. A lot of players make mistake trying to hit this tank in a lower plate, and that's one strong thing that it has. It's a lower plate. It's extremely difficult to penetrate, so if you're trying to penetrate this tank, anywhere higher than lower plate will do. So as you guys probably noticed, I have binocs on this tank, and you would say, Space, binocs on a heavy tank? You're an idiot, you're a noob. You have binocs on a heavy tank, woohoo, and all that jazz and stuff. But you know what? You gotta adapt to what the tank's strengths are, and the strength of this tank is the view range, believe it or not. So this tank shouldn't be played as your normal heavy tank per se, unless you're a top tier, which is a little bit different. But still, you have to be careful because, like I said, you're not an armored monster, and you will be penetrated. So you should play this tank as a sniper. And if you guys don't play this tank as a sniper, you're making a huge mistake, because this tank is a sniper. This gun is excellent, has about 250 alpha, has great accuracy, pinpoint accuracy really, when you think about it. And I'll show you in this game exactly how I'm able to penetrate the cupola of 87 from this distance. So yeah, I mean, that's the way this tank should be played, unless in my opinion. If you guys have different opinion about this, then so be it. But this is my personal opinion, and I've had great success playing this tank as a sniper. So let's get back to the game. As you noticed, we get very good matchmaking. Even though we're bottom tier, there is no artillery in the game, and there are no light tanks in the game. And you'll see how nice it is to finally play a game without light tanks. I mean, I don't have to worry about getting YOLO'd, and it's just fantastic. You can actually play it quite calmly. So what I did in this game, I realized that my team has kind of bunched up behind me. So what I'm doing is I'm using my view range. Basically, I climbed up as close as possible to K-line, and knowing that the enemy has started from that spawn, I'm basically using my view range here to try to spot them. So I just climbed up, waited for my binocs to engage, and yeah, I'm just providing spotting to my team. Take a look. I already have 17 spotting damage ribbons, so things are doing good. But all of a sudden this M4 has spotted me, so I had to drop back. Now one thing you have to be careful with this tank, its traverse speed is not the greatest, so it takes a while for it to back up. So that's why when you poke over the ridges, make sure you don't poke over too much, because if you're gonna try traversing, as you can see here, it's very, very slow. And it's going downhill at 13 kilometers an hour. So I think the actual base traverse speed is about 10 kilometers an hour. So that's what you have to be careful about. But other than that, the speed of this tank is pretty good. The speed limit is 35 kilometers an hour, so you know, it gets around. It's not the fastest thing ever, but it does get around. And the best thing about this tank is, even though the standard shell penetration is only 160 millimeters, which even at 160 is not that bad. But if you load a premium ammunition into this tank, you're getting 243 millimeters of penetration. Quite exceptional. And premium rounds are also APCR rounds. So this tank plays well at tier 7, plays well at tier 8. It's, if you know how to play it, you will be able to get your damage. Now here you can see me, 87, it's 400 meters away. I can easily hit that cupola every time I shoot. That's how accurate this gun is. So now, if you combine 370 meters of view range on this thing, plus you add binocs on it, and add recon and situational awareness, you're extending view range of this tank quite well. So that's why I mentioned that if you can, play it as a sniper. Obviously on small maps it's not going to be the case, you're gonna have to find a different way to get your damage, but on big maps like this, it's yeah, it's just a great sniper. So actually both games that I'm gonna show you today, this one and the one after that, on map Nomonhan? I can't pronounce that thing, even until today, I don't know. Both big maps, and that's where this tank thrives, is on big maps. So again, the point of this video is to show, well, especially this game, is to show you what to do when you're bottom tier and try to play to your tank's strengths. And in this case, what I did is what I used my spotting ability to spot targets for my team. And then whenever I had a chance here and there, I poke out and get my damage, right? So as you can see, we're winning this game quite handily. It's 11-6 right now, so we're gonna try to push a little bit further and get some damage. Now T26E4, this thing is gonna be really hard to penetrate, so I actually tried to track him over there, but that didn't work. So here I'm aiming at E4's weak spot, which is kind of a cheek under the spaced armor. There's a small area there that you can hit and try to penetrate, but unfortunately I'm not having any luck. So we're gonna try to track him again, but he's pulled back, so let's try the weak spot again. There we go, we take him out with standard shell. So 160 millimeters of penetration, no problem. Goes to a weak spot of the super Pershing. So now we're gonna push a little bit further, see if we can get a little bit more damage. But I think by the time I get here, all of the reds are gonna be basically taken care of, except for one tank that's kind of somewhere in a G, I think, 4 area at this point. So we're gonna skip this game forward and take a look at the final stats. So let's look at the end plates now. We were able to put up 1293 damage with 2660 assisted. That's about 3.9k combined damage. Not too shabby for a bottom tier game. Only Mastery Class 1, but hey, only. Even Mastery Class 1 is quite enjoyable. So we finished second on the team with 1452 base XP and 2 kills. Pretty good game in the M6 as a bottom tier, I would say. Only 6 penetrations, but again, this game was all about assisted damage. And if you guys are ever going for 3 marks of excellence, assisted damage is very important in any tank. Anyway, let's skip to the second game now. And second game is on map Nomonhan. We are mid-tier, although there are only 3 tier 7s per side. There are some tier 6s and some tier 5s. Again, no artillery in the game. And do you guys see the trend here? Every time there's no artillery in the game, it seems like the games are pretty good. Anyway, it's just my opinion, again. But artillery players out there might not agree with me, but actually recently started playing a bit of artillery. Hey, maybe Space get into artillery. Anyway, as for the map, I think this is probably, I don't know, it's one of the worst console exclusive maps. I really don't like it. I don't know why. I just think whoever's on this side of the map has the largest advantage because of that large hill that I'm gonna try to climb over here. So it's really difficult to penetrate this area from the other side of the map. I don't know, I guess maybe I still didn't get this map. I still don't understand how to play it very well, but this position here that I'm gonna get into now in the M6 is pretty darn good for sniping, because it gives you vision across the map, as well as it gives you shots close to the hill. And usually light tanks, what they do is, like you see the snake bite, they're gonna try to come up close to this hill to try spot some of us sitting on the top. Now the advantage of this position is, I'm gonna move into it in a little bit. You see that rock on the right hand side? That rock is pretty good because it will protect you from some of the shots coming from the east side. So we're gonna try to aim a shot at this KV-1 here. We put one hit into him for 216. As you can see, this gun is extremely accurate at long ranges. Extremely accurate. Now you also notice that I have no camo in this game. Actually, this game was played before the first one that I showed you, and I actually put camo on this tank after this game, but I decided to show this game second because it's better. It's a much better game, and it's a close game, so you guys will see what happened here. So these guys are YOLOing as usual, so we're gonna try to take care of them. Yeah, we gotta punish the YOLOs. Punish the YOLOs. Make sure they stop doing that, because this is nuts. You die early in the game and basically you have no contribution later on. So again, I stress this all the time, guys. Maintain your hit points in your game to try to kind of get to the end. And what that means is, it doesn't mean don't get engaged. Get engaged, just be careful as how you give away your hit points. I mean, you can still get shots of damage and get into opportunistic positions without getting hit. So that's what you have to be thinking of, right? So I'm gonna try to stick in this position for a little bit, because there are shots presenting to myself, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of them. And like I said, this tank is a sniper, so for some of you it might you know, be a boring kind of play style, but you know, to unwind every once in a while, if you're, you know, if you're sick and tired of playing tier 8 and up, this tank is great for unwinding and kind of calm gameplay, right? Kind of, you play it kind of like a destroyer, tank destroyer, but at a lower tier. So these two guys, as you can see, they started attacking me, so I'm using that rock behind me as cover so I don't get hit. Yet I have higher ground on these guys, so it's easy for me to dispatch of them. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Now this T-37 decided to run off, because obviously if you have a high ground like this, it'll be extremely hard for him to climb up and try to round me. That's another advantage of having high ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to actually chase him down here, see if we can get him out of the game. So yeah, I'm gonna try to come from behind and dispatch of these guys, because, you know, you can't let them run off. I'm gonna try to take care of this M4. We auto aim, we take him out of the game. So now we're handily winning the game, right? It's not too bad, right? But guys, one of our tanks is AFK at this point in time. He's not playing, and that is going to come into play at some point later on in the game, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So here right now we are in the attack mode, so Tiger P is coming with me. I was thinking to myself, it's a good opportunity right now to come around this side and see if we can get some flanking shots on the guys that are remaining. But you'll see in a second, I'm going to get outspotted by something. Right here, my sixth sense kicks in, and I realize, okay, I got myself in a kind of dangerous position, because if I get outspotted, I don't know what's out there hiding. And you can see shots coming from the right side of this rock. So I'm gonna try to poke out, see if my binocs engage, see if I can spot whoever it is that's spotting me. But I don't see anybody. So at this point I was thinking to myself, I don't know, it will be dangerous to move up. And I bet you it wasn't this guy that was... spotting me. It must have been something else. And there, something hits me again. It must have been one of the tank destroyers. So I basically decided not to go. And you have to make executive decision, guys, sometimes. If it's dangerous, don't go. Like this Tiger P, what he did was he basically ignored the fact that he spotted. I know he's a top tier and he wants to be a tough guy, but you will never win this playing alone. It's a team game. So I asked him to fall back. He didn't fall back. So what I can do right now, I know he's gonna die. There's no question about it. All I can do is support him. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Now switch to my APCR rounds because I see a slapjack. And he's kind of tough to penetrate, so I want to make sure I penetrate my shots. But as you can see, I'm backing off. I know this Tiger P is gonna die, and all of a sudden, take a look at this. It's only myself and this Emil, or Emil, I don't know how you pronounce that, I think it's Emil. Only 2 of us left versus 4 enemy tanks. So all of a sudden, from offensive, we get into defensive, unfortunately, because we have 1 tank that's AFK at this point in time, so he's out of the game. And yeah, it's a sketchy situation. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to find a little bit of cover. I called for help from my tank destroyer. Hopefully he's gonna come and help me out. Now I'm still relatively full health because I was sniping most of the game, or camping, as some of you would call it. And in reality, yes, I was camping, to tell you the truth. But that's how you play this tank. That's its playstyle, you know. Unless you're on top tier and you can bully people, that's different. But when you're bottom mid tier, then I would rather snipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to use that rock on the left side to protect ourselves. And if they charge us, which they will at some point in time, we're gonna try to put some shots into them. Now we're gonna try to see if we can poke out, take a shot at this T-25AT. Yes, we penetrate. So they both one-shots right now. My tank destroyer takes the slapjack out, so we're gonna take this guy out. We did take him out, but unfortunately our Emil gets taken out at the same time. If I aimed and shot a little bit sooner, we would have been able to take out the AT-25 without our friendly dying, but that wasn't the case. So what to do now? Now's the question. So I'm still outnumbered because they have 2 tanks and I have 1, because I'm not counting on the AFK guy to come alive. He hasn't been alive all game and I'm not sure if he's gonna come to life. So what I'm gonna do at this point is basically I'm gonna try to defend the base, because there's no point for me pushing. First, I'm getting outspotted by this tank destroyer that's sitting back there, so I know his view range is better than mine. Second, I'm the only one left, so at this point I'd rather sit on top of the hill, let my binocs engage, and do more camping. Yes, guys, I'm gonna do more camping, but again, it's for a good reason. Like, I want to win this game. I don't want to throw this game. I don't want to push and die by myself. So we're gonna sit here for a bit, and I know it's going to be a bit boring, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna wait for our binocs to engage and see if we can spot anybody coming. So anyway, let's speed this up a little bit. But what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be checking both sides here, both sides of the hill, to make sure that no one is coming. And yeah, not doing much here, guys. It's I know it's a weight game. It's moving back and forth, a lot of back and forth, and again, trying to preserve the score, trying to get a win out of this game, right? And who knows, maybe my AFK friend will wake up sooner or later. So I came to this side of the field just to try to figure out what's going on. Maybe I didn't know whether they were coming or they were camping. It looks like they're progressing very slow if they are. And here at this point I realized that our AFK friend has woken up. Wow! So we're actually, this is pretty good. We don't necessarily have advantage, but you know, we can actually pull this off maybe. And our AFK friend actually has taken out the medium tank on the opposing team. Which is great. It's perfect time for him to wake up. And how can you imagine this OI waking up and seeing that it's 2v2 game at the end of the game. So I think He must have been excited that he wasn't dead yet. So again, we're turning from defensive to offensive. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna try to go and chase that tank destroyer down. So again, let's speed this up a little bit because we're gonna do a lot of running around the map here, trying to find them. This is a big map, so it's really hard to find the remaining tanks. But you know, at this point in time, it didn't occur to me that because the medium tank was coming from K-line, that it is possible that the tank destroyer is with him at the K-line. See, I didn't think about it at that point in time, but that is going to turn out to be the case. So yeah, we can't really find him. So at this point, I thought to myself, we should probably just go and cap, and maybe we can draw him out. If we cap, maybe he will still want to win this game. So that was the thinking here. So I got on cap, started capping to see if he's gonna get back and try to defend. But then, I got off the cap because, there's no point. But all of a sudden, the OI has spotted him. There he is, Jagdpanzer 4. Yeah, this thing has excellent camo. So at this point, it is charge. Trying to get a little bit more damage out of this game. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna charge. And see, take a look at that. He's outspotting me pretty good. But I don't care if he hits me at this point. I want to be able to get more damage. So we put a big shell, 277 into him. Oh, he almost gets me out of the game. I got 10 HP left. But I'm still charging. It don't matter. I want more damage. I want to get him out of the game. But unfortunately, he decided to pull back. So the game ends. Quite interesting. Quite interesting turn of events in this game. From going back and forth, back and forth. So we've had relatively good game. We put up 2.7k damage and only mastery class 1 for this kind of game. Again, this is probably for the lack of assisted damage, because I've had games in this tank at 2.7k. That's a mastery usually, but because of lack of assisted damage, it's not a mastery. Ace Tanker, 1537 base XP, 4 kills, pretty good game in the M6. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed these replays, and hopefully I gave you some pointers as to how to play this tank. Make sure you check out the guys in the description. Happy tanking. Until next time, Space Bandit checking out.